All right, folks, so as I had mentioned before, most of the range session that I shot just a little bit ago in this video was completely unusable. I had all kinds of problems with the gun. I had some problems with the cameras. I ended up getting some decent groups. I shot most of the ammo that I had loaded up for that day. Well, today I have 50 more rounds loaded up, the exact same test as before, and we're going to shoot this range session over again. We're going to get some good velocity numbers to work with and hopefully see what the accuracy actually does. I did load all of this ammo with the RCBS 3040 Krag seating die, so the next should not be an issue, and we should be able to see what each load is capable of. I do have the target down there at 50 yards. And we're going to get to shooting it here in the middle. There shouldn't be a whole lot to talk about. Hopefully all of the issues are ironed out with the new firing pin and such. So I'm going to try not to blab too much in between loads. We're just going to shoot through this test and see where we get to. Starting out here with 30.2 grains of IMR 3031. It is a much chillier and cloudier day than the last time we shot, but that should actually be good for chronograph numbers. We should have nice even light through the whole shooting session. We'll start, as we always do, with the upper left-hand target. Okay, I do notice that we're down on the lower left-hand target, but I'm just going to shoot this group without making any scope adjustments. Not a bad way at all to start things out. I am not going to make any scope adjustments. We're just going to keep shooting across the top row. If by chance I do need to, if the groups don't move up like I expect them to, because that's what they did on the last set of groups I shot with the 3031, then we will just paste up a fresh target. Got a velocity of 2080 for that last group. Moving on to 30.5. In case you're curious, I am using a center hold on the targets on here. Probably should have adjusted to hold in the square like I usually do. That group definitely spread out. 30.8. Doing all kinds of vertical stringing. The last group and this group. Average velocity was 2126, I think, for that last group. We'll get resituated here and shoot 31.1. My impact should still be on the paper, so I'm going to go ahead and drop down to that bottom left target. Yeah, in fact, we're going to be inching up into our other group there. That's okay, I should be able to sort it out on video. Alright, the point of impact seems to be stabilizing. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Good grief. I know we're only at 50 yards, but that rivals some of my target rifles. Kind of wish it weren't right next to that other group. But it'll be pretty easy to pick out and measure. 2148 for a velocity on that with a standard deviation of only 17 feet per second. That standard deviation is not great by target rifle standards. For this sort of thing, I'm way happy with that. Last charge of IMR 3031. This is 31.4 grains. Yes, it is entirely possible that my hold was better on that last group, and the vertical stringing component could have been taken out if I had been doing better shooting. I don't think that's entirely the case, but it's possible. Bottom middle target there. Not as good of a group on that one, but still perfectly serviceable. Alright, that was the last group for 3031. We'll give the barrel a few more minutes to cool down, and then we'll move on to the 748 loads. I did notice on that charge that the recoil was significantly sharper and the blast was louder. But we didn't really get that much difference in velocity. We're up around 2190. 2188 it was, with a standard deviation of 11, which is pretty darn good. On to 748, 37 grains. I think I pulled that shot. That last shot had to go and throw off the group. Still, this is some excellent shooting out of the 30-30. If you would have told me that this gun could shoot groups like that, I don't know that I would have believed you. 37.3. We're in the 2230s and still have a pretty darn good standard deviation. So 37.6. Okay, this is interesting. The hammer is all the way down. Don't have one in the chamber, it didn't feed. That's my fault, I short stroked it. I bet I hit this and thought that was the liver travel. $37.9. Wow. Just wow. Last group, 38.2 grains. And there's 2,300 feet per second. All right, folks, good stuff. Let's get down to the bench and we'll talk about these targets. And we are back at the bench. There is absolutely nothing to show you on the brass. It all looks identical. The primers are all backed out by about the same amount, but I'm not seeing any sort of other issues related with that. Certainly no marks on the head of the brass. We didn't have any difficult extraction along the way. It's all good. Here's the highest charge of 748. Yeah, nothing at all to show you there. Taking a look at the targets. Get this other one out of the way. Here's the target for the 30-31. We had some weird groups right in the middle here. This shot that was thrown clear up here if I remember right, was weirdly 100 feet per second faster than most of the rest of them. And the extreme spread for that group was 142 feet per second. Kind of crazy. I don't know what was going on there, but everything after that group was decent. Actually, maybe after everything after this. We started really tightening up and had some decent groups right here with an absolutely outstanding group right here. I haven't actually put calipers on any of these, and I'm not going to measure all of them, but just for the heck of it, let's put a caliper on that one. I'm getting like 0.41 on that group, which is like 0.82 at 100. That's really, really good for the 30-30. Most of the groups from here on out were about an inch. Got inch here, inch here, inch here. Way better, probably about that 0.4, 0.5 here. 0.45 on this really good group we had with the 748, but most of the rest of these groups are around an inch. This last one we had here, a little bit better, around 0.87. We did also get some decent velocities. 2292 was the average for the highest charge that we shot, with a 27 for an extreme spread and 13 feet per second standard deviation. That's great. And with this group, this is probably the load that I will end up loading up for the 30-30. Now, could we have shot clear up to Hornady's maximum, which is 2 charges higher than this one? Yeah, absolutely, I think we could have. Didn't have any signs of pressure at any point along the way. Would have had to pour the powder in the case slowly because the cases were very full, and maybe tap it down a little bit, but I think we'll be just fine. And I may try those in the future just to see if we can squeeze a little more velocity out of this. Like I say, from the targets, pretty much everything after this group here on up, we are looking excellent. All of these 748 groups are ones that I would be comfortable hunting deer with. And I do plan to do some deer hunting with this next season. This is March, so hopefully by the end of this year, I'll be able to shoot a deer with one of these loads. If we don't end up using the 170, which is also possible. But it's been really good to see that this gun indeed can shoot, and the money that I put into it, getting it fixed back up, was 100% worth it. I'm really happy with it. I'm enjoying shooting this rifle. It'll be fun to plink with, and it's a nice short handy package that'll be easy to tote around the woods in the fall, maybe even haul up into a tree stand. So anyway, that's all I have for today, and that's all I've got for this series on the 150 grain round nose. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really frustrating at times, but the data that we gathered today has absolutely been worth it. I know that I can load up pretty much anywhere between 37 and 38 grains of Winchester 748, and we're going to have a good, accurate hunting load. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you would, hop over to Patreon and check out the channel there, and maybe consider lending some support. Thanks again for watching. Y'all have a good one.